welcome to today's session. My name is Ken Muraguri. I'm a verbal trainer taking an elite program. And today we'll be dealing with sentence correction, and we'll be asking ourselves, should I use as or like, especially in sentence correction? So in sentence correction, often when we see like or as, it's mostly comparison being tested. So it's usually crucial to know when and how to correctly use like or as, and this is what we'll be covering in today's session. So the first question is like and as exchangeable? So first of all, both are used for comparisons, but the nature of their use or how they are used differ. And also as can be used to show role or purpose. So this is where as is not used for comparison. So an example here is she welcomed her role as president. So you can see as here, and the structure of this sentence and its meaning, it makes it clear that as here is not used to compare, because we can see here it's a noun here, president. So we can't compare welcoming her role to president. So this shows the role or the purpose. So she welcomed her role as president. So looking specifically at like, it takes the format of like plus noun. So this means that it compares to noun. So when you use like for comparison, always make sure that it's comparing a noun to another noun. And as usual for comparison, make sure that this comparison makes sense. In that, do not compare a cat to a shoe or something of the sort. Compare a cat to a dog and so on. So an example here, like Tom, Mary drives to school. So you can see the comparison between Tom and Mary. So this is the format that you should use when dealing with sentence correction that has like when comparing two nouns. And then we have as, it takes the format of as plus clause. So a clause, of course, it contains a verb. So as should compare actions. So when used for comparisons and followed by a noun, the noun is usually the subject or object. So because we are talking about actions, it of course requires a subject or an object. So you have an example here. So the first one is wrong. As Tom, Mary drives to school. So clearly we can see that this statement is using as to compare nouns, which is wrong. To correct this, you have to compare actions. So as Tom does, Mary drives to school. So Tom drives to school as Mary drives to school. So this is okay. Another way you could write this is the way we saw previously. If you want to compare nouns themselves, so you use like Tom, Mary drives to school. So with that said, let's do a couple of examples. So you can go ahead and pause and then we'll talk about it. So if we read our example here, like Rousseau, Tolstoy rebelled against the unnatural complexity of human relations in modern society. So the moment you look at your answer choices, you can see there is a change from like to as. So you straight away know that as or like are being tested. So the first one, like Rousseau, Tolstoy rebelled. So noun, V, noun. So the use is okay. And the sentence, does it make sense? So like Rousseau, Tolstoy rebelled against the natural complexity of human relations in modern society. So B is okay. So we can keep A. B, like Rousseau, Tolstoy's rebellion was against the natural complexity of human relations in modern society. So this is a noun. This also is a noun, but if you look at the comparison, you're comparing a person to a rebellion because this is just a possessive. So this rebellion belongs to Tolstoy. So you can't compare a person to a rebellion, so the comparison there is wrong. Eliminate B. C, as Rousseau, Tolstoy rebelled. So we can see here that this is a noun and this is a noun, and we are using as to compare nouns, which is wrong. Remember, as compares actions, so C is out. D, as did Rousseau, so this is an action. Tolstoy's rebellion was against the natural complexity. So this is a noun. So action plus noun using as. We know it should be an action and an action. So D is out. E, Tolstoy's rebellion. So this is a noun, rebellion, as results. This now is a noun also. Like it's noun plus noun. So it's using as there. So if it was Tolstoy's rebellion, like Rousseau's was against, so that would be okay. But again, we are using as to compare two nouns. So E is out. We get our answers A.
You're watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, presented to you by Upstack America. Upstack America is a consulting company that helps immigrants find amazing higher education and job opportunities in the tech industry in the United States. You can find our programs by going to www.upstackamerica.com. Upstack America, we wake you up to the unlimited potential.
So let's do a more complex example, which will represent kind of what we'll see in the GMAT. So we'll go ahead and pause and then we'll discuss. So our question reads, as with ants, the elaborate social structure of termites includes a few individuals reproducing, and the rest serve the colony by tending juveniles, gathering food, building the nest, or battling intruders. So again, we see a change as and like, so we know as or like are being tested here. So first of all, as with sentence correction or any verbal reasoning question, we ask ourselves, what does this sentence mean? So delving into meaning, we see that ants and termites have an elaborate social structure that includes some of the members reproducing and the rest serving the colony by doing its stuff. So we want to portray that meaning. So we go to our first option. So as with ants, the elaborate structure of termites includes a few individuals reproducing and the rest serving the colony by doing that. So we are using as, so we expect action plus action. So as with ants, so this is okay. The elaborate structure of termites. So this is a noun. So because we are targeting the elaborate social structure. So the use of as here is wrong. We can eliminate that. And then B, as do ants of action. Termites have an elaborate structure. So ants have an elaborate social structure. Termites also have an elaborate social structure. So using as, this is okay. So we go ahead with the rest of our sentence to confirm if it's okay. So termites have an elaborate social structure, which includes a few individuals to reproduce and the rest serve the colony. So notice this and here. And remember that when you see an and, it's probably listing something. So here it's listing the roles of the individuals of these social structures. So we have parallelism. So we have, and the rest serve the colony. So the rest serve versus a few individuals to reproduce. So we know that if this is to reproduce, this should have been the rest to serve. So this is not parallel. So B is out. C, just as with ants. So we have weird wording there, which is kind of redundancy, but let's go on. So just as with ants, action, termite social structure is elaborate. We have a noun there. So we're using as with action and noun, so that's wrong. And even if you go ahead here to see for reproducing being used together with serve. So this is the bare form of the verb, and this has a for there and an ing verb, so for reproducing. So C has multiple errors out. D, like ants, so this is a noun. Termites, noun, have an elaborate social structure in which a few individuals, so of course, like comparing nouns, that's okay, in which a few individuals reproduce and the rest serve. So bare form, so that's parallel. And these also could have guided us so by tending, gathering, building, and battling. So it should have told you to look for parallelism in the sentence. So D, the comparison is okay, and the parallelism is okay. So comparison and parallelism are okay. Keep D. E, like that of ants, the termite social structure is elaborate. So this is a weird version of this. So like that of ants, so we are looking at social structure. So we're comparing social structure, and we see the way the answer choice has worded it, it's okay. We are comparing the social structure of termites versus ants, including a few individuals that reproduce. If it were to be parallel, we expect, and the rest that serve the colony. So the comparison here, noun plus noun, using like is okay, but the parallelism is off. So we eliminate E and get our answer as D. So in summary, we have said if like is used as in a comparison situation, we expect a comparison of two nouns. If we are using as, we expect action. And note that because this is used in comparisons, and comparisons always or often incorporate parallelism, you should always look out for parallelism, especially in these long sentences that make the meaning complex. So that was it for our lesson today, and we'll see you in our next lesson. Bye-bye.